Hey everyone, it is Matt with ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel. It is September 1st, and you know what that means? It's officially the beginning of the Eurovision 2025 season. And that's right, from today on, any song released is eligible for the next year's competition. September 1st essentially has become the starting date for the next Eurovision season. We'll say goodbye to 2024. Get ready for a wave of exciting content coming your way. But before we get started, please go ahead and like this video. And if you don't like this video, hit that like button anyway. Let's confuse the algorithm together. Oh, and subscribe if you're new to this channel as well. Now that we are officially back in action, let's dive into what we know about the 2025 contest, and then I'll share my thoughts as well. So in 2025, Basel will have the privilege of hosting all of Europe, or at least those countries that will take part, when it becomes the third Swiss city to host Eurovision. The grand final will be held on Saturday, May 17th at the St. Jakobshalle, with the semifinals on Tuesday, May 13th and Thursday, May 15th. And Basel, the cultural hub, they say, at the crossroads of France and Germany. I mean, it's a perfect symbol of unity through music. If you can ask me, the event will take place, as mentioned, in the St. Jakobshalle. It can accommodate up to 12,000 spectators, though that number will be slightly reduced to make room for this incredible stage setup. Martin Oesterdahl, who until earlier this year was the executive supervisor and is now known as the show supervisor, he shared his excitement, saying, "The EBU is thrilled that Basel has been selected as the host city for the Eurovision Song Contest 2025. The contest, which began in Switzerland in Lugano back in 1956, is returning to its roots nearly 70 years later." Now, Basel is known to be one of the most expensive cities in the world, so if you're planning on attending next year's events, time to start saving. The tickets will go on sale later this year, so please make sure that you will be subscribed to ESC United for all latest updates. To me, it's wild to think that the last time Switzerland won Eurovision, it was thanks to Celine Dion, out of all people, back in 1988. Yes, 37 years ago, before some of you were even born. Man, and when Celine was still rocking that 80s hair, we all remember that. Personally, I was rooting for Geneva because it's, let's be honest, who wouldn't want an excuse to visit that city? But hey, Basel got its charm too. I'm not angry about that. And here's the best part. Even if Basel is ridiculously expensive, like sell a kidney kind of expensive, you can just hop on a train from Germany or France and save some serious cash. So it's a good budget hack, I'm telling you right now here. And you know what? What's really funny, the last time a capital city hosted the contest was 6 years ago? It's kind of cool that the smaller cities are finally getting their time to shine, like Basel, and just kind of stepping out of the shadows, ready to party with the big boys. And who knows, we'd be here cheering for cities we can barely find on a map, or maybe I'm just speaking about myself because geography... But I know where Basel is, so that's good enough. And it's the German-speaking part of the country, so das gefällt mir gut. Now, let's talk about numbers of participants. So far, 24 countries have confirmed their participation, and that number is only going to go up. It's going to be climbing. We're looking at potentially 37 to 40 countries by the time the dust settles. At least that's my prediction. The excitement is real, folks, at least on my end. Let's talk about the good news first. Montenegro is back, baby. After a 2 years hiatus, they're making their grand return to the Eurovision stage. And I don't know about you, but I'm pumped to see what kind of flair they're bringing this time around to the contest. But now on to some, let's say, iffy news. The Dutch broadcaster Avrotos, they have dropped a bit of a bombshell saying the Netherlands might sit out Eurovision 2025. Some dialogue is still happening. And why, you may ask? Well, it all goes back to the drama surrounding Joost Klein's disqualification in 24 after some behind-the-scenes shenanigans. If they pull out, it would be the first time in 23 years that the Netherlands won't be in the mix. That would be really sad. A final decision is expected hopefully soon, so let's keep our fingers, eyes, and toes crossed and hope the Dutch keep their spot in the lineup. But if you ask my opinion on that, well, I chatted actually with a bunch of Dutch followers, and let me tell you, a surprising majority of them actually are rooting for a withdrawal. Yes, they're basically saying, nope, no Netherlands, no party, unless we see some serious changes. I mean, it's almost like they're staging their own mini revolution here, and I can't blame them for that, to be honest. Personally, I'm all for the Netherlands staying in the contest, but I'll give you a little bit more insight into that in just a moment. Honestly, though, I'm just mostly interested about the countries that we recently lost and whether or not they're going to return. I look at you, North Macedonia. I'm looking at you, Romania. I'm looking at you, Bulgaria. And as a wise philosopher once said, it's all about the money. It's all about the dum-dum-daddy-dum-dum. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope we'll see some of our core group back at the contest. Let's talk a little about what's changing for 25, at least so far what we know. And the biggest change, of course, is the role of the executive supervisor, yep, the one that Martin Osterdahl has been rocking since 21, getting a brand new name. Say hello to the show supervisor. But wait, there's more. There's more. They're not stopping there. The EBU is rolling out 2 shiny new roles, the ESC director and the head of brand and commercial. Now, what do these roles mean, you may ask? Well, good question. The ESC director will be the big boss in charge of the entire show, including our newly minted show supervisor. And then meanwhile, the head of brand and commercial, their mission is to keep Eurovision fresh, exciting, and totally in sync with fans and sponsors. Because, you know, it's all about the money. Dum-dee-da-dee-dum-dum-dum. So why all the changes, you may ask? Well, it all goes back to the drama-filled extravaganza that was Eurovision 2024. Honestly, some of the controversies were so avoidable. And yet they managed to spiral out of control. And we had issues with the Israeli delegation, some questionable press behavior, the whole Joost Klein fiasco, the list goes on. And let's not forget that Martin Osterdahl got booed loudly during the live show, like the kind of booing where you just want the ground to swallow you up. It was so awkward. And then after the contest, the delegations were practically lining up to air their grievances publicly, and that was only the stuff we heard about. I can only imagine. I'm sure there was plenty of private grumbling too. So what's the EBU solution? Shake things up with a new structure that I just mentioned, but let's be real, for some people that's just the tip of the iceberg. The Dutch broadcaster of Rotos, for example, isn't exactly sending Martin a bouquet of roses and is returning to the contest. That's not enough for them. Now, don't get me wrong, I think it's a good move that will make the leadership less monopolistic, if you will. Now, about how these changes are actually going to impact the production, your guess is as good as mine at this point. One thing's for sure, though, Martin Osterdahl didn't exactly win the Leader of the Year award in 24, so a change was probably overdue at this point. But hey, before I give my final verdict, I'm going to wait and see how Eurovision 25 pans out. Let's just say I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm holding off on the confetti until we see how this plays out completely. And then I just want to give you some final thoughts on my end. The Swedish authorities have officially closed the investigation into Joost Klein from the Netherlands. Guess what? No charges. We already know all about that. I haven't really shared my thoughts on it yet. Basically turned into a classic he said, she said situation. But here's the kicker. You can't exactly hop in a time machine and undisqualify Joost at this point. So we'll never know what might have happened in Malmö when it comes to the contest and the grand final, most importantly. Honestly, I don't think the situation was handled correctly and efficiently. Sure, decisions had to be made quickly, but maybe it's my American side showing here, where I'm all about this innocent until proven guilty mindset, and definitely it was not applied here. Based on what we know, this didn't seem like a kind of situation that should have led to a disqualification. Joost Bless him, though, he's finally speaking out and it's not holding back. He even called out the Swedish media outlet Aftonbladet, labeling them as fake news. And honestly, his trolling game is on point. I'm not going to lie. While this could be the EBU's chance to offer some transparency into the situation, I'm not holding my breath for that one either. But hey, silver lining, Joost got a massive boost in attention from all this drama. And yeah, career seems to be thriving, and I'm happy for him on that front. We can't change the past, but really hope that those in charge will take a more transparent and fair approach in the future. Because let's be real, Eurovision drama is all fun, but not when it comes to expense of fairness. And of course, I get a lot of requests about my opinion on Israel. And let me be clear, my stance has not changed from what I said previously. I've talked about this in the post-contest era. I stand by it. If Israel were to participate in Basel, and which they most likely will, let's be real here, it's going to stir up even more controversy, and good luck to those in charge. It's going to be tricky and expensive. Even more expensive than it already is. But here's the takeaway, and I want to focus more on that actually, is we always talk about fixing the jury vote, and that is still important. I'm all here for it. But 24 showed us that the televote can be just as easily manipulated. And we saw it this year. The EBU needs to address this because this cannot happen again. No government should be able to influence the vote at Eurovision. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle this moving forward, and an official statement in the near future. So that is where we at. Lots of stuff happening, but still more to come. We don't have any artists, really songs yet, but it's only a matter of time. And now that we are officially back, the Eurovision season has started, the summer is coming to a close. It's now time to enjoy 2025. So time to say goodbye to The Code. Time to say goodbye to Rim Tigita Dim and all the other songs. Not really, they're going to be around, but I'm so excited. 25 is happening, and I hope you all good. And let me know what your thoughts are about the 25 contest. I'm sure you have opinions because you are human. Leave them below in the comments section. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.